Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my channel, Mommy Know Bestest. Today is my full video, the first one I've ever done. So please bear with me and let me know in the comment section if there's anything that you can help me with. I'm new to this, so bear with me. Well, today I found a very interesting topic, D.U.M.s, D-U-M.B.s, deep underground military bases. I'm sure a lot of you have already heard about these. I have here and there, but I didn't go into detail or really delve into it until I saw on YouTube this short about how deep underground they are. Well, first off, there was a guy by the name of William Milton Cooper. I'm sorry, I believe it's Milton William Cooper, the guy on the screen here. He was actually a low-level clerk, he said, back in the day, working for the military, and he came across a lot of interesting documents. He wrote a book about it, and the book is called Behold a Pale Horse. He talks about a lot of conspiracy theories in this book, which I don't like that word because it automatically dismisses any facts that you might have to claim. But I believe there's validity to his story. One of the bunkers that he talks about is called Mount Weather. Mount Weather is an installation in Pennsylvania, and it is run by FEMA. That's right, you heard me, FEMA. That's what really piqued my interest. I did not know that FEMA was a institution for the Department of Homeland Security. Every time I see FEMA, they're handing out blankets, toiletries, and things like that after a storm. So I didn't really think that they were that part of a branch in our national security. But they actually do the training and installations at this institution called Mount Weather. It's an emergency operations center located in Blue Ridge Mountain. Yeah, so they're not some altruistic organization passing out water. Um, they handle the training for these military people there. How many of you knew that? Let me know in the comment section because I totally didn't know that. So in the book, he describes multiple global conspiracies, and the word global has a whole nother meaning to me as well now. Every time I think global, which the president has been saying a lot lately, and other people on the news, it means to me all inclusive, of course, but it means that everyone is in on this. So it's not just one country. Everyone had to agree upon everything that they're saying when you hear the word global. We don't speak for anyone else unless we're all in on it together. So that's where I'm at with it. Um, so one of the claims that he had was that in Mount Weather, there's actually an underground city. I'm talking paved roads, several silos and power plants, hospitals, clinics, restaurants, a full-scale subway system, as well as dorms and housing for individuals. There are over 200 of these facilities all over the U.S. alone. I haven't even scratched the surface as far as looking at other countries. These are the three that stood out to me because when I read the Bible from time to time, and recently I stumbled across the book of Isaiah, and it was speaking about the end times and how it said in Isaiah that they would be hiding in caves and underground to hide from the glory of the Lord when he returns. Jesus comes back for Armageddon to wage war with Satan, basically, and he wins. So it got me to thinking, maybe that's what they're preparing for. We always think of these underground bunkers and the ones in caves for nuclear fallout or wars or if something cataclysmic was to happen as far as weather, maybe an ice age kind of thing. I don't know. That's what I was always thinking, especially like in my younger years. It never even dawned to me until now that maybe they're actually preparing for the end. I mean, think about it. If you knew for a fact that you had done so much bad and that you had sided with the wrong side and that Jesus is coming back and he's winning, he's going to win, you would do everything in your power not to make that happen, even though you know that's the end result. I'm sure they're preparing just like us followers of Christ are preparing as well. We're trying to get our house in order, so to speak, so that we'll be ready for him, without blemish, without fault, and be able to go before the Lord. So I think they're preparing for that too. That's what I think these deep underground military bases are about. I also have another theory that the Nephilim bloodline that is talked about in the Bible is still here. Maybe that's how they escaped. Maybe they hid in these bunkers when the flood came. Because I don't believe that we built everything here that's on this planet. I'm just going to say that plainly as I can. Call me crazy, call me delusional, but these are my ideas. And if you agree with me or don't, put that in the comment section as well. Just be nice about it. Be respectful. But the reason I say that is because there's a lot of antediluvian and Gilded Age structures and technology back in the day. I don't think we came up with. I believe that the fallen angels, aka the Nephilim or demons, they pretty much made arrangements with humans. The higher ups, of course, when they drilled into these holes, when they built CERN and other things, I believe that they have actually got in contact with darker entities. Just like we channel the Holy Spirit and we talk to God and we talk to Jesus and He talks to us, I believe that they have basically found their liaison with dark powers. And that's how we came into all this technology. I don't believe that God put it on man's heart to do a lot of this stuff. People like to think of it that way because they like using it. I, for one, like a lot of this technology as far as the internet and computers and things of that nature. But some of this stuff is pretty much slapping your face obvious that it's forbidden and that God and Jesus never intended for us to have such things like Neuralink and um, I don't know. Just a lot of this stuff is like pretty much slapping him in the face. It even says in the Bible that man will be mixed with iron and mirror clay. All this building people up into cyborgs and all this kind of stuff that they're doing. It sounded like something out of a movie, but now it's literally our reality. It is. AI, technology, things that aren't even human doing things that humans can do. So, I don't think he ever meant for a lot of this stuff. That's why I think it's forbidden technology. Why is he allowing it? Because just like any good parent, he has hope for us that will turn away from those things and that his people will come to him. He doesn't want to damn us. I don't believe that. He wants us to come to him. He wants us to be in glory. That's why he's giving us all this time. That's my personal belief. But I'll move forward. So, in the book, he was saying that, I'm sorry, Mr. Cooper was saying that the Illuminati is a secret international organization controlled by the Bilderberg Group and in partnership, well, they say conspired, but I like the word partnership, in partnership with other entities such as the Masons, Knights of Columbus, Skull and Bones, and the ultimate goal, Cooper says, is to establish a new world order. Now, I believe him because, as I said, I believe that's where a lot of this technology comes from. And the Bilderberg Group and all these other secret organizations and secret societies, I believe they know way more than they lead on to. That's why everything is so secret and so hush hush, because you can't tell the general public that you worship Satan. I don't think that's going to go over well, especially back in the day when people were more prone to being Christians. In fact, that's what this country was supposedly built on. So it wasn't cool, dare I say, to say such things. So now they're a little more out there with it because people have become desensitized over the years, I believe. So they pretty much just put whatever they want to out here. They just don't care. A lot of people don't pay it attention because they put it under the guise of conspiracy and you automatically shut it out. So they're winning with that one. I'll tell them that. A lot of people won't even receive the information, even when you have receipts. But I digress. Cooper says not only did the organizations invent alien threats for their own gain, but actively partner with extraterrestrials to take over the world. Pause. So every time you hear extraterrestrials, don't think of the little gray man with the large eyes. I used to think that too. That's why I never believed they existed. I believe they are the fallen angels, the Nephilim, the demons. It says in the Bible that they have their own domain and that they already visited Earth before. That's how they were able to impregnate the women of men and create, the Nephilim and giants and other creatures that they weren't supposed to be mingling with in the first place, hybrid human beings. So I do believe that we are being visited, by these entities, but I don't think they are what the government is saying they are. They say flying saucers and the little gray men so that you'll laugh and not really pay attention to it. But if you think on the scale that I'm thinking of, as far as them being demons, not aliens, because terrestrial is a plane. So out of this world practically is what that word means. So that's not too far fetched. We're not used to seeing things like that. So, of course, when you tell us that little gray men are coming abducting cows and people and experimenting on them and bringing them back, it makes the people sound crazy and they'll lose their credibility. But I thought about it, especially when I came across a lot of back in the day stories that were in news articles. These people could have lost their livelihood, possibly their life, depending on what town they were in, for even admitting something like that. Why would they make that up? I don't think they did. But I think that the fallen angels are very clever. They've been here before we were. So I'm sure that they make them see certain things when they appear to them or when they abduct them. I believe that our government and several other government organizations already know about them. Um, and that they've been in partnership with them, allowing them to experiment on humans and do other things to further their bloodline. I believe that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to build an army, I believe, for the return of Christ in hopes that they might stand a chance. That's what I'm thinking. But, maybe I'm wrong, but that's just my take on it. So, that's what William Cooper believes as well. So, the aliens, the flying saucers, and all these kind of things are all part of the program. In this book, he talks about the shadow government as well, how there's a whole organization with a president, cabinet, and everything already in place underground in Mount Weather. Not like the metal bunkers that we see in movies with the army ration food. We're talking a whole civilization that is better than our above ground um, counterparts that are underground already working and have been for basically decades. So that leads me to have to question why. Why would you already need a president and the cabinet and government and the people who are in with this organization here at Mount Weather are HUD, the FCC, the Federal Bank Reserve. These are heavy hitters, people. You can Google all this stuff. I actually found a lot of this stuff on Wikipedia, and the info about the army bases, the D.U.M.B.s, the deep underground military bases. I found that on the military site. It's OMK. I believe it's called One Military Kids. I might have that wrong, but just Google OMK and you'll definitely see it. or you could just type in D.U.M.B.s. That's how I pulled it up. But it's their top three picks. So, yeah, I just found that very interesting. Another thing I found interesting is that he was saying in the book that Nixon passed an order while he was in office that if we are in national security status for more than 5 years, that FEMA can actually take over on a local, federal, and state level, and that they can disband the Constitution of the United States for any reason they see fit at this time. Did you hear what I just said? FEMA has the power to overthrow the Constitution and disband it completely. He also said upon doing his research after finding this fact that he found no other contingency plans as far as reconstructing or reiterating or reinstating the Constitution after the said crisis is over. There's not even a time limit as to when the Constitution will come back. So that leads me to believe one or two things. Either they're planning for a national security that they're going to fake. Maybe it's going to be real. Maybe it's going to be like the pandemic. Who knows? It'll be real with a hint of fakeness. But in this time frame, they're planning on taking the Constitution out completely because it gives us too many rights. And then they'll be able to make the rules literally as they go and enforce them with the help of the military. Because, like I said, they are a branch of our homeland security. So they actually have the power to do this. That's scary. With the Constitution, we already have our rights trampled on nowadays. But to throw it completely out, I can only imagine how bad it would get then. I really, I cringe to think, honestly. I hope you're thinking about these things because I really have. And I'm not saying these things to worry you. I'm the type of person where I know that God has everything in his power, in his hands. It might not look like it to some, but he has the plan for us. He's always taking care of us, and he said he will never leave you or forsake you. That means something to me. And I believe that even now, with all the stuff that man is doing, all the things that they control, at the end of the day, he has the last word. So there's nothing he's going to allow them to do that he can't undo or fix. It's kind of like letting a person get enough rope to hang themselves kind of thing. That's how I think of it. So I don't fear these things. I just like to know. And it's astonishing that I literally Googled these things. They're not hiding it, folks. We just have to do our due diligence as Christians, as parents, as people in this society. It's our right to know things. Until they lower the hammer on us and just cut out everything completely and start acting like China, which they're already going that way if you're paying attention to the news. This one world government stuff, this one world religion, these are things that in 2020 I thought were just conspiracy theories. Yeah, I said it. But they literally have built a temple for one world religion. They literally have gone to Mount Sinai, where the Ten Commandments were given, and smashed a mock version of those and invented new ones. Yeah. So these things are actually coming into fruition. It's not conspiracy theories anymore. It's facts. They are the ones presenting the receipts. That's what's crazy is to me that people won't receive this knowledge, but it's not Christians that are coming up with this stuff. It's actually the opposite. The bad guys are showing you they're the bad guys, but you're turning your head because they say the right word, conspiracy, and that's all it takes. That's all it takes. But long story short, they killed William Cooper. The police did. Now, when I read the article, it sounded very fishy, so I'll let you read that. But it's on the Wikipedia page. You can also look up some videos that people have made on YouTube about this subject. I didn't realize how serious it was. Every time a whistleblower comes out, they kill them. They'll say it's for one reason or another, folks. That's just to keep the mainstream narrative from digging and for you to just say, oh, well, hey, he got what was coming to him, right? But did he? Before he published the book, because a lot of people say, well, if these things are true, why would in the world would they allow him to publish a book? Because they took several chapters out of it. It even says that on the Wikipedia page. And I wonder what was in those chapters. What did they say? What did they reveal? I think he had bigger receipts in that book than we originally think. That's probably not even his copy that was published. I'm sure it's not. I mean, he's deceased. He can't say whether it is or not. There's no proof. The proof died with him. But he used to do a podcast from his home, a little radio show, and he's actually been writing a couple of articles here and there as well, exposing these truths. Now, a lot of them just sound so far-fetched that you just can't possibly, this can't be real. But I just want to shake you a little bit and tell you to look at things with an objective point of view, but also with an open mind. Just think, what if this man was telling us the truth the whole time? I think a lot of them were. Just like these stars that are up and dying when they started talking about making about child trafficking and stuff and revealing the people who are in on this. Because it's bigger than we think. We just see our everyday lives on the surface. Everything is fine. You get to shop. You get to go to work and stuff. But when it comes a day that you can't do those things, that's when people start thinking. I know it for a fact because that's when I started thinking. God opened my eyes in the year 2020 when they shut us down and we literally had nowhere to go. I started watching YouTube like crazy. And a lot of stuff was like, come on now. But once I started Googling things, I had to shut up. I actually had to get off the internet for a few days here and there because it was so much, it gave me a migraine. I received so much knowledge, it literally made my head hurt because it made me feel so stupid that I was part of the problem in the way that I was one of the general populace that didn't believe anything. If the news didn't tell me, it wasn't real. I was one of those people, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I'm telling you, don't go that route. Question everything. Even what I'm saying, question that too. Don't just believe it because I said it. Google it. Do your research. If you can find what I find, then maybe it'll spark your interest. Maybe you'll want to know more. Because that's what I did. And I was shocked. But as I said, this was only one of them. The one that I found the most interesting. But as I said before, I hope you found this as interesting as I did. And maybe one day I'll do a live show or do another video like this. And you let me know. Because I was thinking about doing one on the fallen angels, demons, and the will of Ezekiel. In the will of Ezekiel, he described seeing vessels that were high in the mountain that were flying. They looked like a wheel inside of a wheel and eyes all around them. I'm not trying to dissuade you from your interpretation of the Bible, but just right offhand, that sounds like a flying saucer. Yeah. But what they show us in the movies are flying saucers. Maybe the eyes that he thought he saw were actually lights. Yeah. They could have been actually lights all around this wheel inside of a wheel. And it was manned by a being. Right? But if you've never seen something, how would you describe it? I believe he was looking right at the fallen angels. He could have been. He could have been. I think there's a lot of things around this world that we don't understand completely. And we need to stop dismissing things just because we don't understand and we don't know anything. Cognitive dissonance is very real nowadays. People would not receive new knowledge. If they thought of things a certain way all this time, they just want to continue doing that. Just leave me alone. Tunnel vision, straight ahead. They have blinders on. They don't want to see what's on either side. Just let me go this way and I'll be fine. But we can't afford to do that anymore, people, because the devil is busy. So we have to be vigilant. We have to know what we're facing. Whether it's people or entities, we need to be in the know. Because God is going to protect us, but He also wants you to protect yourself. He wants you to know what you're facing, not just turn a blind eye to everything and assume that everything is fine. Trust no man. You trust in God. You trust in Jesus. He said it, not me. But I find that more and more true every day. Every day. So yeah, have an objective view. Open your mind and your heart and ask the Lord to stride with you, to open your eyes, to provide you with knowledge, to let you be able to receive knowledge and have a spirit of discernment to know when you're being lied to or not. Because I could pretty much tell if a conspiracy theory is real or not before I even search it up. He blessed me with that gift. A lot of people don't have it, and you might have to work at it a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. At least try. And don't let this news and other things that you find upset you. Don't let it worry you. Don't let it put you in a state of mind of failure. Because failure is not an option. We are Christians. If you believe in God like I believe in God, then you know who wins in the end. And even if you're not a believer, it's not too late. Ask the Lord to come into your life. It don't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter how you were raised. If you open your heart to Him, He will never leave you. But He doesn't bust His way into your life like the government does or like evil does. You have to let Him in. And if there's evil there, He can't stay there. You have to want it. That's two things that God gave us. Freedom of choice, freedom of will. We are the only things He created that even have that. A cow can't be a chicken even if it wanted to. Grass can't be trees. But us humans, we can decide anything we want to be, anything we want to do if we just implement the strategy and do the work. That's amazing in itself. That's a gift that nothing else have, not even angels. They have to do what He says. He doesn't make us do anything. He doesn't even make us be Christians. I'm sure it could have been very easy to just turn us all to angels, but He didn't do that. He didn't do that. For whatever reason, He saw something in us that said, you know what? I'm going to let them figure it out. So that's all I'm urging you to do. Do your research. Find out what's going on in your world. Because at the end of the day, you have to be here too. So make the best of it. And I'll see you next time on Mama Knows Bestest. And I hope you like this content. If you did, like, share, and subscribe. And please comment. I have received no comments from you all. I would love to interact with each and every one of you. And thank you for all your support. To my 12 subscribers, love you, love you, love you. And stay tuned. Let me know what you'd like to see as well. I don't want to just be making random videos. So let me know what you want me to research. And if you like my shorts better. Because I'll shut up if you like me to. But I love doing things like this. I really do. But until next time, good people, stay vigilant and stay woke.